There is one anxiety recovery skill that I am doubling down on, and I am here to take you along the ride with me. Hopefully, you sign up for this as well. There's nothing actually to sign up for, but I want you to think about how empowering this is going to be for your anxiety recovery and double down on this alongside with me. Hello, my name is Kimberly Quinlan. I'm an anxiety specialist, and welcome to your Anxiety Toolkit. This is a podcast where we talk about compassionately managing anxiety, getting you back to living the life that you want to live. Now, I talk about all kinds of skills on your Anxiety Toolkit, but this is the one thing I'm doubling down on personally. I know so many skills. I know all the strategies. I've done a lot of therapy, and I have come to a place where I have realized that there is one main core strategy that I want to practice every day to bring home my recovery. And that is this. My goal from here on out, and has been for a while, and this is why I say it's very much benefited me and why I'm talking about it. The one thing I want to double down on is to be able to have any or all of the emotions and give myself permission to have them and make space for every single one of them. That there is no emotion I am not willing to feel. So often, when I'm treating clients, when I'm seeing severe anxiety disorders, it's not just the social anxiety and the health anxiety and the panic disorder. That's not what I'm treating. Often, what I'm treating is their fear of an emotion. Let's break it down. Let's say they have social anxiety. It's not always that they're afraid of social interactions. It's often that they're afraid of the emotion of embarrassment or humiliation or shame. When I'm treating panic disorder, it's not that they're actually afraid of flying. They might be afraid to fly because they're afraid of feeling the sensations of panic. When I had an eating disorder, it wasn't so much that I was specifically afraid of gaining weight. I was afraid of having to feel unlovable or less than, or that I would have feelings of disgust. So what I'm realizing here, especially as I continue to fine-tune my skills as an expert, is with anxiety disorders, there is a feared situation or a place or a thing, but there is a feared emotion alongside that. And one thing we can do universally is to get really good at having all the emotions. So again, my goal is to have radical acceptance for all the emotion and commit to mastering all of these emotions. Now, one thing I can guarantee you is if you are afraid of any of these specific emotions, anxiety, sadness, anger, shame, guilt, disgust, any of these emotions, if you've decided they're emotions that you refuse to feel, I can guarantee you will have immense anxiety in your life. You will feel not at peace with yourself because you're constantly afraid of when those emotions might show up. However, if we can flip the switch on that or flip the script on that, what we can do is to say, anytime an emotion shows up that I don't like, it is an opportunity for me to continue my mission to master that emotion. Now, what does that mean? For me, it doesn't mean that I master it by making it go away. It's that I master it by unconditionally rubbing myself, like completely surrounding myself with warmth and love and kindness in the presence of that emotion, right? One of the emotions that I used to struggle with the most was anger. I used to have a lot of anxiety about anger. I used to feel a lot of judgment around anger. And what I found is Anytime I went to have an argument with my husband or a conflict in my daily life, I would have the conflict and the anxiety because I was afraid of the anger that would show up. Anytime that I would be in public and I felt ashamed, I was noticing, again, it wasn't the public thing. I was pretty comfortable public speaking, but I was completely on my knees around feeling shame. I had built no mastery on the emotion of shame. And so what I've been trying to do for about almost a year is, as those emotions show up, I pause and I go, okay, this is an emotion that I have pretty repetitively tried to avoid. That's not working anymore. How can I lean into this emotion? In those moments, what is it specifically that I need? I want you to think like long-term effective skills. What is it that I need when I feel anger or anxiety? What is sustainable and helpful to me as I feel it? Is it reaching out to a friend? Is it identifying errors in thinking? Is it taking a breath? Is it saying kind things? Is it saying encouraging things? Is it slowing down? Is it speeding up? We have to be able to identify, number one, the emotions that we've been running away from, and turn around and lean into them and ask ourselves some difficult but very important questions. What do I need? What have I done in the past and has that not worked? What could I do differently? Am I willing to take some risks and feel some uncertainty while I trial and experiment with other options? Now, this is profound work, you guys. And what it involves is really doubling down on how kind you are. What I have found with my patients and clients and with myself is one of the reasons that people don't want to feel specific emotions is because, number one, the emotion is uncomfortable. Absolutely. But number two is they're afraid of how much they're going to beat themselves up when that event happens. Let's use embarrassment or humiliation as an example. So you've embarrassed yourself. You've said something that you wished you didn't say. All humans do it. It's not like you're the only human on the planet who is, doomed with making a mistake. But when you make a mistake, then you go in hard with the whip. You're whipping yourself on what an idiot, and you're so stupid, and no one else does this, and you're the only person on the planet that would ever have made a joke that didn't land or whatever it was. So often, it's not just the embarrassment, it's that you're afraid of how poorly you're going to treat yourself while you feel that feeling. So the piece here in how we, again, commit to feeling all the feelings is we also commit to creating this lovely warm bubble around us while we feel the feeling. When somebody doesn't like me, which happens a lot, I give them permission not to like me. And then I sit so kindly with myself. I'm like, yep, not my favorite feeling, but they get to not like me. They get to disagree. They get to misunderstand me, right? Maybe I made a mistake, and I am going to be the safest place to allow that emotion to rise and fall until it burns off. It might take minutes, might take hours, might take days in some situations for it to get a little less painful and prickly. But am I willing to try that? Now, you don't have to do this. You don't. However, before you turn this podcast off and you're like, yeah, no, that's a good idea, but it's not for me, I want you to think about what you're currently doing and how is that working out for you? I want you to do a little bit of a analysis of the pros and cons. And my guess is the way that you're running away from emotions is causing more pain than it is preventing it. For me, I had to, a real life example, I'll give you a personal example, is when I'm having a discussion with my husband and shame shows up. I often move into being defensive. Sometimes I get a little blamey and a little just mean, you know what I mean? And he's trying to share with me something that hurt him, and I can't hear it because I'm refusing to allow shame to be present in this conversation. So I stop and I pause and I say, okay, can I change this? Because what I'm doing is creating more pain. I'm being defensive, then we have an argument, and it only gets worse from there. So do an evaluation and see if that's something that might be helpful for you. So that's it, you guys. That's what I want you to work on. That is the major anxiety recovery skill I'm doubling down on because life is scary. Let's work at not having emotions be one of the things you're afraid of. Have a beautiful day. As always, it's a beautiful day to do hard things.